Didn't I tell you him going to say goodbye to that girl was going to end up getting him caught? I know it. He got caught. He went back. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Andor. We're on season 2, episode 3, which is called Harvest. Yep, I feel like that's going to be both literal and figurative in this case. So the last episode, we finally got Cassian off of that godforsaken planet with those bumbling fools. And I'm thinking that he's going to be heading straight to the planet where Bix is, because we see that the Empire is there conducting an audit. And as much as they were trying to stay under the radar, one of those officers took a liking to Bix, and I feel like that's going to become a problem. But yeah, they're probably going to be doing a more thorough inspection of all these people. And if Cassian doesn't show up to grab her, it could be a problem. And then on the political side of things, all kinds of stuff is going on there with the oh gosh, the mother of the bride. She's losing control of some of her people. Luthen is going out of his mind because he can't get a hold of his contacts. And he's also trying to figure out what's going on with his political contacts as well, because if they start to get a little too suspicious of or focus too much on the rebellion, obviously it's bad news for him. And then we see that his informant, Luthen's girl, she went back to Coruscant so she could start figuring out what's happening on the radios. So that's where we left things, ready to jump in. Just before I do, though, a reminder that if you'd like to be in the know when I drop episodes, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. What are you doing there, Cass? Please don't tell me you ran out of fuel in the middle of the galaxy, please. I was wondering, a ship like that, do you not get to go to the bathroom? Because where do you even go? I was right, he did grab a radio. Whew, thank God. Because I was thinking he can't really use one if there is one in this, because it probably would just filter through Empire channels. Oh, was that what you meant to do? Yeah, I don't blame her for being nervous. She should be. Can't let your guard down now.
I had to change the date. You only use it tonight if you got stopped.
Sounds sketchy.
If you do and don't want to say so, that's fine. But someone needs to tell him what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't they just leave us in peace?
No, that's not the way that fascism works. They're all up in your business. Vic's been saying that they should have been moving around. Oh, that's quite the dress. But creepy when you think about the fact that she's only 14 wearing it. I forgot how young these kids were.
My mother was drunk when I got married.
Probably because she knew this was sick and twisted and we shouldn't be doing it anymore.
None of it matters. Money, embarrassment, pressure.
What are you saying?
Exactly. Speak plainly and quickly.
Tell them all to have a lovely afternoon, but that it's not yet time for a marriage. We can put it off.
You're telling me this on day 2? No, day 3.
You do not have to go through with this.
I feel like she probably feels like she does now.
I wish you were drunk.
Okay. Guess she's committed. You started this emotion there, Mom. I'm like, you should have come to her with this beforehand. But day 3?
You're to stand behind me.
You want a business mode mom. You got her. I'm very curious. I wonder if also the boy might have said something to her at this point, but we haven't seen them interact much. Mind you, from what I remember of last season, I don't think her daughter was much of a rule breaker. She believes in this system. She doesn't realize how corrupt it is. It's just rude. Hope there was a hair extension. You know how long it takes to grow a braid? I guess that means she's no longer a maiden or something? I don't know. Okay, chef skills. Not this woman comparing the 16 shades of beige she's got going on. Does it matter, ma'am? Oh, please, no. That was scary. Yeah, thank you. Okay, bro, can I get to the door? It was an in-law dinner? That's what we're freaking out about? But I guess.
Such a pleasure to finally meet you.
Finally, indeed.
Didn't shake that hand, though.
What can I get you to drink?
Don't you wonder what I thought you'd look like?
No.
There's a shop in the arcade.
No, please. I did not come all this way to see Cyril disappear again.
Cyril and Dedra, not a
Show
cute
me
name,
your
couple name at all.
wonderful home.
Give me the full tour so I can know where to snoop later. Victor Niner, come in.
Let's start over. What's your location?
This is not the ship I was trained to fly. Did you know that? Did anyone know that?
Apparently not.
It's very crowded there right now.
He's going.
Why can't I call home?
You won't get through. There's a frequency blockade.
He's going there.
I don't know, which is why I'm telling you to keep the signal open.
He's going. But he's gonna need to go, so it's happening for a reason. And he's very short on patience, as you can see. He's hungry, mildly dehydrated, clearly not dried off from the planet, leaving the planet, so yeah.
Cyril's imagination that always fascinated
Oh,
me.
wow, ma'am.
Mother, you're dripping.
Right? Like everywhere. I bet you she knows he's OCD and she did that on purpose, you know?
What a difficult time that must have been. Cyril's shared the story with me.
Really?
What's his version?
He's found someone with whom he can actually communicate.
Mother, would you like
I'll
some...
get there. Tell me about your family.
The
I
nitty
don't
gritty.
have one.
Well, I mean, clearly you do. You came here.
My parents were criminals. They were arrested when I was 3. I was raised in an imperial kinderblock.
Explains a lot. Blinking!
We had everything we needed.
Physically.
Except a mother's love.
Ooh, that was rude. I know she's doing it to drive him crazy. I can't. Oh my gosh. I wonder if that she calls his compulsions as his delicacy.
What are you saying? That I came home for the cakes?
You're missing the point.
Less said about that, the better.
And I wasn't playing at anything.
Knew that was gonna come back. She's your mama.
Be right back.
Gonna go throw a fit in the bathroom.
I have a different plan in mind.
I'm sad.
But when I say the word plan, that makes it sound optional, which is not the impression you should be taking away.
Oh.
You want Cyril in your life, you will think before you speak. I will guarantee a level of engagement, but it will be inversely proportional to the volume of anxiety you generate in our lives.
Negotiation. Oh, Jesus, Cyril. Stand up. Literally. He can't believe it, but you know what? Edie probably, this is the kind of person she is. That's terrible though, bro. You just went from one controller to another.
That's interesting.
Perhaps some more cakes?
He's like, I don't know what's happened. I only stepped away for 5 minutes.
This is Luthen Rail, everybody.
Stop it.
I thought you were a local boy.
Not really. Well, my father's Chandra. I was born in Naboo. When I was
Naboo?
Gorman.
Oh, there's Gorman.
Bounced around until she passed away, and then Mon stepped in.
Oh, sorry. That's good. Excuse me.
Jeez Louise. Is he really drunk again?
Ever thought you'd have a Shandy Merle in your ball?
Yeah, he's not happy about that very expensive thing being showcased.
Here's a lesson for us all. Speak up. Stand up. Make your point. Every time I'm with him, I'm reminded how timid I've become.
Told you he was a tinderbox.
He could be very helpful to me right now, but we'll discuss all this on the Coruscant next week.
Yep. Didn't Luthen say you need to make a move now?
I'll call Erskine to set up a meeting.
Will you? This feels like a goodbye. Nope.
So we're on a team.
Yeah, he's done with you, sis. He's absolutely done with you. That was a goodbye. Not a see you later. Luthen's like, what is happening? How is this spiraling? It started fine, but whoever's on the xylophone is off key. So many things falling apart for you, hey sis? Business. Just sold your daughter and realized how twisted that is. Casting, please don't crash land into the people's crop. Because they're not going to know it's him. Or will they? I don't know much about the mission he told them.
Where's Will?
I thought he was with you.
He went to go say goodbye to that. Didn't I tell you him going to say goodbye to that girl was going to end up getting him caught? I know it. He got caught. He went back. Do you know how many kingdoms have been felled by a man who can't control his libido?
Speedo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I left out front.
Mm-hmm. All this for ass you could have gotten later. Stop looking at her,
Get
you
inside.
pervert. Exactly, immediately. They could have been on their way by now. They gotta wait for your stupid ass. Mm-hmm. You about to get told off.
I told me he'd stay away from Skolden. He's been pestering him since he arrived.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I warned you from the start.
He did.
I just can't believe it. I've known him my whole life.
And you think you still know him?
I'll warn him off. I'll find what it takes. I'll get a number.
It's too late.
We'd be vulnerable forever. You need to be protected.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
Aren't you?
How nice for you.
Ignorance is bliss, he said. And the thing is, Skunland's already got you because he's got your girl. It's the young people dancing time. All the old people to the back. He said, we're putting on the space techno.
Here. Oh, a little extra celebration. Oh, really?
Is that the in-law now? I guess she's accepted the fate. Oh, right, I forgot the communications veil. I was like, how come they can't get through? But he needs to get, I think, in the atmosphere for it to work. This is not going to go well. She's the only one left. The other two are gone.
It's a long way to go. There's no one closer.
As far away from you as I can get. Ugh, that actor is doing a very good job of putting off the creepiest possible vibes. Are you gonna get drunk? Huh. So much for your mother's cautionary tale, huh? Wow. Well, I guess go to oblivion for a day. Watch your world fall apart tomorrow. That's a great scene with her being still and distressed with the party in the background.
I know you're illegal. We've been counting visas. It's a tough spot for everyone.
Ugh, we're not trading sex, brother, so get the out.
I'm always looking for ways to relax.
No, dirty. No, I'd rather die.
You must have strong hands.
Oh, I just know his breath stinks. Just wait till he's close enough to stab him in the neck. Can he get in without alerting? Oh, actually, it's one of their ships, so they're not going to suspect immediately, but they're going to wonder why he's going planet side.
Use us up. Turn us in.
Is he doing this on purpose? He is. He's giving you the signal. He's trying to take the heat off of you.
Such a simple.
Yuck, 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 yuck. Right? Learn what that word knows. Or that knows. What that word means. Sorry, I just thought about his nose at the same time. Got me all messed up.
Hey, calm yourself.
Why the hell would she do that? Oh, you're such a man. Finally. Again. Finish it. You have to finish it. Damn, you was taking a nap. Sorry. You was taking a nap. But it's probably not the first time you've sat back when you know he was doing this shit. So you know what? I hope you get plugged too, sir. Wow, he screams like a... Okay.
Lieutenant!
Lieutenant's... Can't take him... He can't take your call right now.
Sir.
That was karma. 5 with the... He's a one guy. Oh my God. Y'all, this is why y'all made. Although I'm not going to count him out. I feel like he can actually do a lot of damage, but...
He tried to rape me.
And you know he did.
He's dead.
Good. What? You had the advantage and you didn't get close enough to hit? You deserve that, my brother, because I don't know why you was defending a rapist. Why are we still at this horrible techno party, please?
Where's Otto?
I don't know. I was just called to fill in.
That's his person.
I was afraid I wouldn't
I remember her. Don't blow her cover. Don't blow her cover. But unfortunately, she's gonna tell her sister. Bye, bitches. I don't know if he's gonna make it. Yeah, this guy looks like he's ready. Not bad. Cassian learned this ship quick. Careful, careful. Oh! Get grained, bitch! Uh-oh. Do you not make it? I had a feeling. Yeah, that guy got the shot off first, didn't he? You gotta go, Cassian. Don't make his death be for nothing. Come on. We gotta go. Let's go. There's more units.
We need to go.
Now. Immediately.
Get in.
Now, now, now.
Come on.
Bix, girl. Get it together. He's like, my wife never gets drunk and she never dances. When are you gonna notice you're not going home exactly? Sorry, Brasso, buddy. You seem like a good guy. And you protected the ones that were protecting you in the end, too. It's your fault! This music is such a weird juxtaposition to what we're feeling in this moment. But I get it. It's actually ironic because they're grieving while over in the rich part of town, they're having a party. It's not your fault, Cassian. There's nothing you could have done. What is that? Like, we just somehow dropped right in the middle of Burning Man here. Can we just... Maybe Burning Man is not the right reference. These people are far too clean. Okay, there was really nothing more than to showcase people getting drunk and having a party. All right. Whew, okay. So this episode, we have everybody back together. At least not everybody, but most of the people who are working with Cassian and the Resistance. At least they're now all back together. Cassian figured out a lot pretty quickly, honestly, considering he did not know how to fly this thing a few days ago. But yeah, sheer determination and fear will definitely get your brain working in ways that you didn't know it was possible. But yeah, I mean, I'm wondering what Luthen is up to. I feel like there was way more that kind of happened on the political side of things that we needed to focus on with this episode, short of the party. I feel like the party scenes went on way too long, to be honest. I get it, though. I know it was a little bit more to give us the juxtaposition of how serious things are going with the Resistance and people who are not in this small 1%ed upper crust of rich people. You know, like they're out here having a 3-day wedding celebration of opulence and, you know, dance parties. Meanwhile, there are people out there who are just literally scraping by that are being oppressed even further by the Empire, right? Like it's a good parallel for us as an audience to see and understand why the rebellion, you know, exists and why it's still being fueled. But I just feel like we didn't need like, what was that? Almost 20 minutes of dance party scene. Like, it's like, we get it. Like, it's fine. I mean, yes, they were also trying to let us know there that the bride's mom she's unraveling, right? She thought she had everything. Well, I think towards the end of last season, we could already see that she felt like the things she had a control of were already slipping. And now, you know, the illustration of the spinning plates, like at least 3-4 of those girls have fallen off already. And so she is kind of trying to put herself into oblivion, if even for a night, because she realizes that she has, in fact, lost that guy. I can't remember his name. She's lost him, right? That whole conversation was him saying goodbye to her, basically saying like, yeah, we're done here. Like this, Scanlan, he's got the money, he's got the connections, he seems to be thriving. He's listening to me right now, even though I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to work with him either, but he knows how to keep people in check. Yeah, he's like, I'm getting more out of him. You just keep telling me later. And I'm like, I'm trying to let you know that I'm broke. My wife left me. I'm a country music song right now. And I mean, I need you to do something or give me something solid. And that's why we kept hearing Luthen say, you need a number. Like you need to get something to get him to solidify his loyalty. And she kept balking. because she doesn't want to do it. Really, that's what it comes down to. And she kept relying on this. We heard her husband say last episode, isn't that your ex-boyfriend? Isn't that your lover? Right? So I don't know what's going on there. Like, now that we're understanding a bit more of the fact that these types of highfalutin marriages are arranged, my guess is that even though she cares for her husband, I'd venture to say they don't love each other. I'd also venture to say they probably both had affairs, because, right, if you're put into a marriage where you don't genuinely love your partner, especially in a situation like this, I bet it's very common that people have their own extramarital extramarital affairs and flings, you know, that they don't really talk about. And I guess with her husband knew that her and hold on, let me get his name, because I'm using all these non-absolutes here. Mon, thank you. I keep I always forget. Sorry. So yeah, I think Mon she was relying too heavily on her relationship with Tay, her former relationship, the fact that Tay does probably have residual romantic feelings for her. The sad thing is she was overly confident in the fact that love for her would be enough to keep him loyal, but she has to realize that kind of thing only works when things are going well, right? Like, if Tay's business was still doing well, if Tay was still married, if Tay still had like what he felt like was a secure place in society and everything was going to be fine, he probably would be more easily manipulated by something as much as her promises and mild flirting. But at this point, everything was so shaky, and that's what Luthen kept trying to remind her of, is that like, he is not in a good place. Like, do you see him? He's very unstable. You need to lock that in. You need to do it now. And even if she didn't have the number, right, if she wasn't ready to, commit to what she's ready to commit to keep him on board. I mean, I said it back in episode 2 and I was only or episode 1 actually, and I was only half kidding. Like, maybe you need to throw a little something his way, ma'am. Like, if y'all was already in that type of relationship, you know what I mean? Like, if this is, I mean, listen, I'm not normally somebody who says you should use use sex to get what you need, what you want. But since she's already sunk to lower lows, right? Like I said, effectively selling her daughter off into marriage to stabilize a relationship, is it really that big a deal for you at that point? Like I said, it's one thing if she didn't have anything with Tate, right? But they already have a history. So, like, seriously, if you just given a little romantic attention, especially in his state, that probably would have taken you a long way. That would have probably bought you till next week at least. But anyway, she had her reasons. And I think there's a small part of her that also was kind of looking down on him a little bit. And he picked up on that, right? He kept kind of dropping very, well, I was going to say he was being vague, but I wouldn't say it's vague. He was putting it more passively, right? Passive aggressively. He was kind of letting her know that, like, I can see you, like, you're not paying attention to me. You're not valuing me. Because, like, I'm the only one who's getting screwed over, and you haven't even noticed or cared because you don't view me as an equal. So yeah, that was a big fat ball drop on her part, unfortunately. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think she's going to be able to fix this. And then we see, of course, that Luthen saw the whole thing, and he was like, yeah, you screwed up. Like, you should have figured it out, or you should have given him, or at least promised him what he wanted. And she's like, well, I need a number. And he's like, you already know what it is. You know that he would have us in a situation where we're forever indebted to him. That's basically it. He's like, but you should have offered it at the very least, right? Because we all know that Luthen could have found creative ways to get rid of him, that the promises needed to be made first, right? Because that's how Luthen is. Like, he's like, just do what you need to do to keep things, balanced for now. And then I could take care of things on our own. But the fact that you let him get to the point of moving to the enemy, or, imbalancing the scales against us, right? Because the way I'm taking it is that there was kind of like a triangle, right? You had Mon, you had Scanlan, you had Tay, and they were all kind of on even ground. But then we see that Scanlan's been doing a lot better, right? He's been making out a lot better from this whole deal. And then he wisely last season suggested the marriages between his kid and Mon's kid, which basically creates a situation where Mon is kind of having to work with him and is not going to go against him, because now effectively he's taken her daughter as a hostage, right? Let's keep it real. That's really what it is. So he made that power move. So it was already kind of like a duo of these two. And then there's Tay on the outside of it. And now Tay's been losing things left, right, and center. The rebellion's hurting him the most. And there's been no perceived benefit to what he's doing. So right now, out of the triumvirate, right, Scanlan's the only one who's doing well. He's the one who's got Mon basically underfoot, and he's doing well financially. So, and it seems like he's good friends with Luthen too. So why would he not go to him and see if he can at least get himself back up to being at an equal level, or at least below or above where he is now, which is completely beneath them. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, in the game of politics and intrigue, I'm taking stabs at this, people, because I am far from the kind of person who can manipulate at that level. That's not the way my mind works. But That's what I'm kind of taking from that. So anyways, we see that Luthen was right on her and was like, you should have, you know what you needed to do, and you were balking, whether it's because you didn't want to commit to it, whether it's because you do have personal feelings involved, whether it's because you're looking down on him, whatever it is, he basically said you screwed up the game. And anyway, he's like, were you even going to tell me about this if I wasn't here? And she was like, yeah, I would have told you. She's like, we're meeting next week. But he already knew. Luthen already knew that she was going to keep that to herself, right? And she should have known letting him leave was not the okay thing. She should not have let Tay go, right? So anyways, we see that Luthen, who's a man with plans within plans, was like, oh, hell no, we can't let that man. He knew that if that man went back to Coruscant, that there was no way they were losing him. So he put his other sleeper agent, Cinta got in there and took over as the driver. And we'll see whether or not he's actually going to take him back to Coruscant or if he's planning on taking him elsewhere. It's a risky move taking someone of that high profile, but it'll probably work out because Tay is definitely not where he was in society before, I think, because we're seeing most people at party weren't even talking to him or hanging with him, which I think he also noticed. So anyway, that's what's kind of going on with the wedding. Also a very interesting conversation between Mon and her daughter. What's her name again? Leda. Lida. Basically, we hear her saying that she went through the exact same thing when she got married, and that her mom wasn't even sober because she was so unhappy with what was happening, because this continuing tradition of selling off children for political purposes is continuing. And, I think she was feeling bad, right? Because this was her, right? This whole thing kicked off because she kicked it off. But now she's feeling bad because she realizes that, for herself, she's been in, I don't want to say loveless, but effectively a loveless marriage with her husband for God knows how long. They're in this arrangement, this very fake, fragile arrangement that they're in, and she's not really happy. It's very clear she's not happy in that marriage. She tolerates it. They both found their kind of acceptance of it, but it's not a loving relationship by any stretch. And so she realizes she's now condemned her daughter to the same thing. And she has a moment of guilt, and she tells her daughter, look, I will stand behind you if you go out there right now and say you don't want to do this. Like, I'm fine, or saying that you want to postpone it or something. And Lida gives us a very interesting response, like, considering that back in episode 1, she was crying because this boy wouldn't look at her, to now saying, I wish you were drunk, as in, don't tell me, like, why are you coming to me with this now, is very interesting. And I'm a little curious, like, not highly, but I'm a little curious as to what that change would be, because from what I remember of Lida in season 1, she seemed to be much more independent minded. Like, she didn't give me the impression that she was rushing off to be a bride. So I'm just wondering what might have changed. And I did also wonder whether or not maybe he said something to her, like if the boy she married actually might have said something because his dad said something, but I don't think so. I don't know. We'll have to see. But either way, that was a very interesting, vulnerable moment for Mon, and I think that's the other reason she's drinking herself into oblivion tonight, is because she's lost her daughter. She sold her daughter, effectively, and then, now her, like I said, her political webs are also starting to fall apart as well. So, yeah, we'll see what happens when she sobers up and whether or not she's able to get any type of foothold again. Then on the side of we saw very little of them, but I guess I'm thinking that once we hit Gorman, we're going to see more of it. But yeah, we saw more with Dedra and Silas, and we see that the whole freaking out, like last episode, they kept saying like, we can't keep putting something off, and I was like, what is this? I thought it was something serious like Empire business. No, it was just meeting Silas's mother. We found out last season it's pretty well connected, and she does not at all approve of Silas, doing anything other than just the bare minimum, because she thinks he's a pretty princess. But anyway, yeah, dinner is awkward. Clearly Silas, we already know from last season, his mom makes him highly uncomfortable. He's been trying rather poorly, but trying to like break himself free from her clutches. But he's also a big fat mama's boy, so I don't even know. Anyhow, yeah, we just get to see that dinner, and then we see right away that, we've seen since season 1 that Dedra is very emotionally repressed. She's methodical, she's calculated. I don't even think she really likes Silas that much. But either way, she basically sees right through the manipulation tactics that his mother uses. Like I was saying, like the fact that she was being purposefully super messy with the fondue, knowing her son is clearly OCD. Like that kind of stuff is literally, it's a form of mental manipulation, really. She knows it's going to get him off his game and emotional and just, frazzled. And then she has an excuse to be like, oh, see, this is why you need your mom. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Dedra did see straight through that. And even though I don't like Dedra like that, I respect the fact that she was like, listen, let's cut the BS. we know why you're here. She's like, this is my man. He's in my house. This is what's going on right here. I will set up a situation where he doesn't like leave you high and dry. And basically, I will revoke those privileges because know that, you know, I'm the one who's got his balls now. You had them for the first half of the life. I got them now. If you want to see your boy again, you're going to not tick me off. You're not going to stress him out. You're going to leave him be. And we're going to just do it like, that's how we're going to handle things. This is business now. And so, yeah, we see that unsurprisingly, she agreed. Her mom, you know, the mom agreed. And I get it because like she understood it, right? As soon as she saw that Dedra saw through her act and her BS, she was like, okay, cool. But I think also like genuinely though, even though Silas's mom is very special, or is it Cyril? Sorry, Cyril. I keep calling him Cyril. Even though Cyril's mom does come off as manipulative and very overbearing, I do think she genuinely is just worried because Cyril is, we saw it last season, he doesn't do too well when he gets overwhelmed or frustrated. And I think she just is scared that if he doesn't have someone in his life who's a little bit more detached and able to kind of level out, that it's going to be a problem. And I think she's right about that. Like she's raised him since birth, so she knows what her kid's like. So I think now that she sees that Dedra is just kind of like her, but with less flair, she was like, okay, I'm cool. Truly, I think it was like I don't even think she was scared of Dedra. I think she was just like, oh, okay, I see. You've got this. You got that energy that's necessary to calm him down if he loses his shit, and that's all I needed to know. So they're good. And you can see that poor Cyril has no idea what the hell just happened, but he's like, all right, I guess. if you guys are not going to be at odds with each other, that works for me. So, yeah, that's kind of what happened there. Again, I'm not sure what that was in aid of at this point. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if it fans out into anything else. But right now, it just kind of felt like that was more just maybe for some personal insights into their characters. But I'm always watching Cyril's mom, though. She definitely seems like a person who's got some very interesting connections in very interesting places. But yeah, I think that was pretty much it for this episode, right? Yeah, there wasn't really much more talk. Oh, outside of that one seemingly random conversation between Luthen and the boy who said that his mom was Gorman and his dad was Shandarian or whatever it is. Yeah, like the fact that that conversation got cut off by Tay running into him. Again, I don't feel like that was a throwaway scene, right? If it was supposed to just be a matter of us to focus on Tay, they could have just cut that conversation, or they could have gotten to that conversation mid-conversation, or given us a throwaway line is my point, and then had it. But the fact that this kid, whoever he was explaining the fact that he was the illegitimate child of a Shandarian, obviously higher up, and Gorman, who, I mean, Gormans are their own forms of royalty, I guess, from what we learned back in episode 2, but either way, it's someone below his station. And then he said that I guess maybe the Gormans were not too happy about the fact that she had a baby with a Shandarian. And anyways, he said that they kind of bounced around because they weren't accepted anywhere. But he didn't actually end up telling us, I think, where he was or where he grew up. And I feel like that's important. But yeah, the fact that Gorman keeps coming up, I guess, is my point. Like that, the fact that it came up in that conversation, I think is why they made sure that we saw it. And maybe saw his face, but we'll have to see. But I think, yeah, I don't know. My biggest question at this point is like, now that we've kind of done with this whole wedding arc situation, I am much more focused on what's going to happen with all this stuff with Gorman and whether or not Luthen knows about it yet or is about to find out about it. Because yeah, they keep dropping hints left, right, and center about these people, and I can't think it's for nothing. So yeah, that was another interesting episode. Like I said, my critique would really just be that I feel like the party stuff was a bit much, but otherwise very interesting. Yeah, we lost somebody too. We see that we lost one of our rebels, but at least they're off the planet now and in the wind. But I think that unfortunately Cassian made way too much noise in that escape. Yeah, I think the situation was supposed to be that no one got compromised and nobody knew where any of the rebels were. But now after what happened with that escape attempt, I mean, I think most of the locals will probably, well, first of all, a good chunk of them won't know what happened, but a lot of them are going to probably try their best to cover for them. But I just think that once word gets back to Dedra, it's going to be a problem, right? So yeah, like I said, another interesting episode. I did enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I'll see you in the next one.